Talking about something that, in my opinion, is a huge elephant in the room because so many of us have had to pivot over the last 2 years, and some of you are still feeling like I want to change, but I just don't know what to do or even where I should start with my thinking. So, I'm going to share with you guys only because I was just having this conversation with someone and I felt like, I don't know if I've done a video to really break this down, but definitely since 2020, I've had to make some massive decisions and changes because I knew what I wanted was not where I was at the time. So I'm going to share the three things that I took into account, considered, and made changes. So hopefully this helps you. We're currently in a place, like, I'm a business coach. So what I do all day long is help people grow their businesses. So let's start there. I love my clients. They're awesome. And I also have a membership group. If you need a support system, that is a great place to be. The 100K Society. And of course, I'm going to tell you, it's like the best community for you to belong to. But here's why I'm talking about this. We're currently in a time frame that is called the Great Resignation. More and more of you are literally leaving your jobs, and I think that is an indicator that you're making a massive decision about what you don't want to do. But I think what happens is you make that choice, but you're not sure what other choices need to be made or what direction you need to go to get the results you actually want. So, whether you are a part of the great resignation, like I think last year was the biggest year that people left their jobs, but literally, like, I think it was either March or April of 2022 was the largest month of people leaving their jobs. So, this is what you guys want to do. You don't want to do status quo anymore. You're tired of the mundane, you're tired of things being the same, and you've decided that you no longer have to settle. So, one, kudos to you, but two, scary, right? Because now what are you doing? So, I know for some people, they left one job to start something else, but I also know that the rate of people who are unemployed is at an all time high, and there are currently more than three advertised positions for every one unemployed person. So that also tells me that you chose to be unemployed, you chose to leave your job, but you're also not necessarily choosing another position. So, in my thought as a business coach, I think a lot of you are making a decision about what you want to do. And that's exactly the place I was in 2020, yeah, 2 years ago. So what I'm going to share is kind of the thought process that I went through and the actions that I've taken. It's so easy to tell you what I did over the last 2 years, and I'm not at all downplaying how difficult it is to live through it. So, one, it is scary, it is hard, it is a major, massive action that I'm asking you to take, but you're already doing it. So let's just discuss what that should look like. So 3 points. One, first, the biggest thing, these are my pointers and you can take them or leave them. But the first thing that I had to do was really decide what is it that I wanted, right? At the time, pre-pandemic, I was running a bakery. I still ran it later as well. But either way, prior to that, I had a bakery for 13 years. So that meant my life revolved around a location, which actually was multiple locations, lots of staff. I had years where I had over 100 employees, right? So I'm not talking about a slouch company where I'm in my kitchen cooking stuff on demand for people. No, this is like a full on business. I had admin teams, managers for every location, kitchen staff, decorators, delivery drivers. Like, it was a whole thing. And holidays were insanely crazy because I would hire seasonal workers. Like, it was a lot. And I had to decide that, is this really what I want? And the thing that I was missing, and you can translate this however it needs to be for your life and your story, but the thing I was missing is I felt so obligated and responsible to my bakery that I was missing out on so many other things in my life. So clearly, with a bakery, you are tied to a location. I had to be in my commercial kitchen. That was my role. I handled production. So that also meant if I chose to travel, if I chose to do other things, I was like slowing down my business because I couldn't be there. I absolutely got to the point where there were errors and other things, but it was still a huge deal for not be present in my business. I could work from home or something, but I definitely couldn't be that far. And after doing that for 13 years, I just wanted something different. And that's so hard. Like if I tell you I have 100 employees and I'm now just I don't think I want to do this anymore. I know these people personally. I know what they were paying for in their life. I know that they were dependent on that paycheck. And then here it is, I'm making a choice that's not just going to change what I'm doing, which could be scary, but also I'm changing other people. I had to make a decision for myself. And what I really, really want to work from anywhere. Where while but at the, I just couldn't see how it was going to happen. Every time before that I've tried to do that, it didn't work. So I had to create an exit strategy and what is the plan moving forward that's going to allow me to work from anywhere. Like I don't build another business that's going to lock me. Like that was the biggest thing for me. I'd be locked into a location. I want to do life the way I do it. And also have a business that I enjoy running. I loved running my bakery. It was just I wanted to be able to travel and I wanted more time freedom. For a lot of you, you're at that point where it's like, I just need the money. I just need this. And you jump into things. And like bakeries are lucrative. I'm not even going to lie. So it was hard to consider what am I going to do that's going to pay me the same way, especially at that point of 13 years loyal customers. My customers, as I started shutting things down, people were calling me. Like they had all kinds of ways of reaching me. And I'm like, these people are crazy. Like if I shut the website down, they were not having it. But I had to make a decision for me. Like I have one life, I have one family, my kids are getting older, and I wanted to be more present with them and present to do things that I do at this age of my life. I don't like that idea that we wait till retirement to start doing stuff because then you're also older, right? So being like super honest with yourself, honestly, that's the first place. What is it that you really want? And ask yourself that and don't be afraid that the answer is completely opposite of where you are. My answer was completely opposite of where I was. I could not work from anywhere. I had to work in a bakery. I had to work in person with my hands to the plow. Like literally, my hands were always hurting. I was on my feet all the time. I didn't want any of that anymore. So, work from anywhere was a big deal to me because it wasn't just about the money, it was about my time. I had the money, I did not at all have my own time. So, that's the first thing to do. Second, be honest about where you actually are. So for a lot of you, you're going to say, "Oh yeah, I want money, time, all of this." I would say choose one that's the most important thing from you for you, and then also decide why is that so difficult for you to have right now, and be honest. So for me, I ran that bakery, but on top of running it and it made money, I also needed the income. My kids are in private school. I had lots of employees. Like literally, as much as I can tell you, it was a really great income. It also had a lot of expense. So it was always hard for me to make different choices because there wasn't always a ton of extra money. And that was just a hard reality to face. It's like, I've been doing this for this long. You would think I'd have a good six-figure savings. Instead, there's always a new idea, expansion, and this thing, and that thing, and a new thing. And it costs money. And so, yes, 13 years of doing it, I was constantly investing and growing, and the income's growing, but so were the expenses at the same rate. So I didn't love that either. And I had to be honest with myself about why and what in the world could I do differently. The other thing I had to be honest about is if I want to be work from anywhere, I'm probably not going to be running this bakery. What is my husband going to think about it? He and I were in this thing together. What is my staff going to think? What am I going to do? Like, it's not even just to say this is what I want, but then what's the reality of you having it? What has to change? What has to go? But then also think about what's the benefit to you having it. For me, the benefit to me having that work from anywhere lifestyle outweigh all of the stress that I anticipated having in changing. My oldest daughter is already out of college. I don't think I spent as much time as I wanted to while she was in college, while she was in high school, even. And now she is off on her own, doing her own thing. I'll let her announce her own big life plans and stuff to the world. But the reality is, I wanted to be more present for my kids. My son is about to go to college to play college football. So clearly, his high school football career was very important. Us getting him in front of colleges, recruits, all these football camps, all of that stuff, I wanted to be present. And I couldn't do that with the bakery. I can't, a lot of that stuff I had to even just like budget to afford to do, let alone can I go and can I be present and do it with him. And the luxury that this change provided is yes, it was COVID. My bakery didn't suffer because of that. But because I made that choice to work from anywhere, I had transitioned enough that when it was the between my son's junior and senior year, that summer, we literally traveled the entire summer. And when I say the entire summer, I was exhausted. I was like, I love this whole work from anywhere, but I got to figure this out because this is too much. We went to about 13 or 15 football camps in a matter of like 6 or 7 weeks. And I'm not talking like, I'm in the DC area, so I'm not talking Maryland, Virginia. I'm talking like Vermont. I'm talking South Carolina. And I had to go when they were open, right? So it's like you're in Vermont, you're in Philly, you're in South Carolina, back up to Jersey, back here, back there, because COVID really took their opportunities away to get more film and to be in front of recruits. So now we had to do all that work ourselves. But I was able to, like, I had really bought back my time. We could afford to do the trip. We just did what we knew was in the best interest of him. And that's the other thing that was important to me. I want to make the best decision for my family, not the affordable decision and not the only decision that's possible. When I talk to some people and they're like, "Oh, I can't think about going on a trip because I don't have any leave." Like I just can't even mentally fathom that you allowed somebody else to tell you how much time you get to spend not working. Like that just I've been an entrepreneur way too long for that whole conversation. So one, it's not just the ability to say this is what I want to do, but also the means, also the capacity to do it. Like when I started doing this work from anywhere thing, it opened my life up, right? Not just because I want to work from anywhere, but I want to be able to afford all these things that are the best decisions for my family. So yeah, last summer was crazy. My husband and I traveled. We did all this stuff for my son. It was insane. I was exhausted, but I was so proud of us because I know a few years prior with the bakery and with my life being the way that it was, this wouldn't have even been a conversation. And out of it, he had at least 3 offers. I know he had 3 offers at the time that he made a decision. And I know there were several other schools that reached out to us after, but he was committed at that point to his college. So that was number 2. So one, I was saying, make sure that you are honest with yourself about what you want. And then 2, be honest about where you are and what you're going to lose, but also what you're going to gain by making that decision toward the thing you really wanted. And then 3, this is the thing that's going to trip most of you up, and you're going to feel like, I don't know what you're going to feel, but the big mistake that I see people make is even if you made a choice, even if you know what what you can stand to lose versus what you're going to stand to gain. What you don't do is number three, which is get some help. Like, don't decide that you know how to do this on your own. Clearly, you never did it on your own before. So, why all of a sudden do you think you know how to work from anywhere, be an entrepreneur, start a business when you have been an employee or you've been in the same zone forever? So get help. Like, and I'm not even saying that you have to be in my coaching program. My coaching program is great. It's absolutely a support for people who want to start their own businesses. I am all about entrepreneurship, but I have a caveat. I want you to be in my community if your goal is to hit 100K. If you're just side hustling and doing all this other stuff, I'm not the coach for you because I want somebody who's taking things serious. So this isn't about that. This is about you understanding that you need the help. Like, my third point is get some help and recognize that you shouldn't do this on your own. I was in a meeting the other day in a coaching session, and the coach was sharing that you absolutely can do things on your own, and the rate of success of doing things on your own is about 10%. So, for a lot of you who have quit your jobs or making choices about what you're going to do next, but you don't have any support system at all, your odds of getting to that solution, you have a 10% chance of getting there. 10%. So that means some of you are absolutely going to get there. You're going to put the hard work in, you're going to do what it takes, and you're going to be in that 10%. For the rest of us, you need community, you need experts, and you really just need to not do this alone. Even if all you get is an accountability partner, that raises your percentage from 10% to about 75%, just from having accountability, just from showing up and saying, this is my goal, and having somebody to brainstorm that with, right? So at the end of the day, I'm saying get help, but you also have to be coachable with the help, right? You can't share what you're doing and somebody asks you three questions about it and you feel like they're a hater and they're against you. Maybe you weren't clear. Like, think of it that way, right? So I don't want you to go get help and then you're attacking everybody because they had a question or two about what you're doing. You've never done this before. I have been in business for myself I married an entrepreneur 15 years ago. We celebrated 15 years of marriage. I have not worked for somebody else the entire time we've been married. I have started multiple businesses, the bakery being the longest standing business for me. But the reality is, even when making this big decision that I'm going to do stuff differently, I decided how I wanted to do it. I joined coaching programs, I joined communities, I started talking to people, I have accountability partners. Like, I put tons of things in place to support me in my next decision. And the reality is, you know, this is what you should do. You just don't do this part. You know, you should consult. You know, you should reach out, right? So when you want to learn something, you want to get a degree, you go to school, you learn from an expert, you have classmates, you do that whole thing. But somehow in the area of entrepreneurship or starting a business, because it's your idea and your baby, you decide you don't need help. So I'm just telling you, you definitely do. So those are my three things. I'm not at all telling you, being honest with yourself, especially when I had to have that conversation with my spouse, like, I can't do this. I don't really want to run this bakery anymore. Or us being very clear about how we've handled our finances in the past, how we have to handle them differently for this work from anywhere lifestyle, how things can or may not even be really that great for the next year or two as I'm transitioning to do something different. What is he going to do? We were doing that business together. You know, those were hard. Those were hard choices, but I made a decision that that's what I wanted. And above all else, I was going to do what it took to get there. So today, when my son's on his way to college, to play sports, and I was able to support that. My daughter's doing great things, my oldest, in her life. My youngest literally is like phenomenal at speech, and she has tournaments coming up, camps coming up, all this stuff, and I can be present to realize, oh, you need a suit jacket, which also means you need some more clothes, and which also means this, and I can be present and I can do those things and be involved in their life. That means a lot. Like, my time and my ability to be present is huge. So just decide what it is, but realize that you have to take some massive action. Doing the same thing you've been doing, complaining, talking about how you want to leave your job, or leaving your job without a plan. That's the stuff a lot of people do. What they don't do is put a plan in place to actually support the decision they made. So that was my rant for the day. Thank you guys for joining me. Like the video, share the video. If you know people who left their job and they're trying, like, they're spinning their wheels trying to figure out what to do next, share it with them. I'm not selling anything. I'm trying to help you guys get the support you need and make the decisions that are necessary so that you can find your own success. You guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me. I'm Tanika D'Souza, the 100K Challenge Chick. Talk to y'all later. Bye.